Welcome back, this is WernerSobe and this time we are going to perform a standard torpedo attack on a real target using TDC and the position keeper. A sound contact has been reported at bearing 40. It's a good idea to order the sonar station to follow that contact and update the bearing information.
Bearing.
Now let's take a look at the target.
9.
Our first task will be identifying the target. This is essential for range estimation. Looks like a Japanese merchant battle stations.
General quarters, all hands man your battle
Bearing.
stations, all
3,
hands man your
8.
battle stations.
Well, this is the Nagara model. At the same time, we can take our first position
Bearing.
mark for
3,
later course
7.
and speed calculation. Taking a position mark is basically taking the range with a stadimeter. Sending the range to TDC also provides the bearing from periscope optics, so we are basically recording the exact location of the target. For now, we can lower the
Bearing.
periscope
3,
and raise
6.
it just when it is necessary when we take the second position mark. The longer the time
Bearing.
period between
3,
the both
5.
marks, the more accurate will be the plot. So I recommend to take the first mark as soon as possible, just after identification, and the second one as late as possible, just before the attack. So in our case, I will take the second mark at about bearing of 20,
Bearing.
and meanwhile
3,
use the time
4.
to prepare the attack by setting the torpedoes and opening the doors. Nagara Maru is a quite big ship, so I will fire tubes 1, 2,
Bearing.
3 and 4
3,
at a depth
3.
of 15 feet.
Bearing. 3, 2.
Torpedoes are ready and the sonar reports bearing of 3-2. I will speed up the process using time compression.
Bearing. 3, 1.
Bearing is now about 20 and it is time to take the second mark and finish the firing solution.
Bearing. 1, 9.
Taking the second mark is again just taking the range and send to TDC. Now we have two locations and can
Bearing.
make the
1,
calculations.
8.
The plot shows 7 knots and course of 1, meaning it's heading north. Make sure sending the speed also to
Bearing.
TDC.
1, 7.
Now we know target is heading north, so we have to adjust the angle on bow until the ship sign on the true course dial
Bearing.
is heading
1,
north too.
6.
Now the true
Bearing.
course dial
1,
is matching
5.
the calculated course and we can activate the position keeper. Finally, to finish the solution we have to update the position keeper with fresh bearing
Bearing.
by
1,
simply
4.
resending the range. The firing solution is complete and we can lower the periscope.
1,
It is
2.
not required to have the periscope raised during the attack. Periscope should only be used to collect target data. Now let's take a look at the
Bearing.
firing solution.
1, 1.
You can see the white cross and white line representing true course and interception point, and the green line being interception course. As I
Bearing.
mentioned before,
1,
it is
0.
not necessary to attack through the periscope. Once the position keeper is running a firing solution, the torpedoes can be
Bearing.
auto-fired from
9.
attack map. Here you can also compare the bearing provided by sonar and the position keeper. They should be matching.
Bearing. 8.
Now let's set up the spread and fire the fishes.
Firing tube 1.
Bearing.
Torpedo
7.
in the water. Firing tube 2. Torpedo in the water. Firing tube 3. Torpedo in the water. Firing tube 4.
Bearing.
Torpedo in the
6.
water.
Bearing 5.
Torpedoes are now approaching the target, which is interesting, but much more
Bearing
interesting is
3.
what happens with the solution when we move. So let's do this.
Yes, sir. Ahead flank.
Bearing 2.
Yes, sir. Hard to port. Hard to port. Merchant, bearing 1. Moving away.
As you can see, the position keeper does take
Merchant,
into account
bearing
our own
9.
movement.
Moving away.
So it is actually possible to move around during the attack when the solution is prepared properly.
Torpedo in.
Meanwhile, we have impact,
Torpedo impact. Torpedo impact. Torpedo impact. Merchant, bearing 2, 1. Moving away.
looks like she took enough. Back to the attack map, you can see that the position keeper keeps updating the solution, even though the target is destroyed. There is no connection between the position keeper and the target state. Basically, you could even attack the target again with the same solution from aft tubes, when your forward tubes failed or were darts. To sum it up, at first identify the target and take the first position mark. Use the periscope only when it's necessary. Prepare the attack while waiting for the target to come closer. Take the second mark and compute the course and the speed. Using that data, finish the solution and start the keeper. Fire the fish and when necessary engage evading maneuvers. I hope you have enjoyed the tutorial and I wish you good hunting.